I want to know why I'm here, what is my purpose. And ayahuasca helped me a lot. It shaped up my life, and you find out who you really are. There were two questions. What is this third eye? How does the power work in the world? Like, who is really having the power? What is the all-seeing eye on this dollar bill? And in my first ayahuasca experience, it connected both. The world is doing their best, that you also learn that authority is outside yourself.
Welcome to the House of Oneness podcast, where we dig deep into the world of plant medicine to help you in your spiritual and personal growth. Our host of this podcast has traveled the world to learn from different shamans, maestros, and other spiritual leaders. She has many years of experience with plant medicine ceremonies. Here is your host, Maria Johanna.
Welcome to this new podcast, and in this podcast I'm going to share my story on how plant medicine helped me in my spiritual awakening. Because waking up on this earthly planet, it's not an easy journey, it's a crazy journey, and you can go from one amazement to another. Spiritual awakening to me is finding out the truth, and the more you find out, the more you become who you really are. And to me, there were two pathways. So one is the spiritual path and one is the earthly path. And both are paths where you can wake up. And you wake up in the dream, but not from the dream. Maybe when you wake up from the dream, this is when you die. But when you wake up in the dream, this is when you have the spiritual awakening. And you find out who you really are. This is what happened to me in my first ayahuasca experience, but it started before. How did my spiritual awakening started? Actually, there were two questions. One was definitely the first, and it was, what is this third eye? What does it mean? I mean, in some cultures you see this red dot here, and in spiritual things you see a lot of things about the third eye. And what happened to me spontaneously is that I started to feel like tingling feelings on my third eye, and some experiences that was out of the ordinary. I remember that sometimes I had to sit still, close my eyes, and then I felt this doing some work, and I got some downloads, and I thought, what is happening to me? And then I was also moving into, like, I was doing Tao teaching. This is something from China, and I asked my teacher, like, I don't know what is happening to me, but I feel all the time my third eye, but I don't even know what it is. And she arranged an evening for me and other participants from her course to learn more about the third eye. This is where it started. At the same time, or a little later, I was already interested myself from, like, how does the power work in the world, like, who is really having the power? Because I have a financial background, and when I was working in banking, I understood that there was some power. I didn't understand who were also influencing the markets, the stock market. There was the Federal Reserve, and they were printing money, and I thought, what is the truth about this? And then when I met my ex-boyfriend, he was also having the question. He said, yeah, I want to know, what is the all-seeing eye on this dollar bill, on the pyramid of the dollar bill? And the world has a structure of a pyramid. So there's some power at the top of the pyramid who are ruling the game. But what is ruling the game, and who are these people? And he had a modeling background, and in this modeling world, he experienced strange things, and also he saw that kind of symbols that he said, I want to know what these symbols are. And it was all very mystic. So those two questions we had together, actually. What is the third eye, and what is the all-seeing eye on the pyramid of the dollar bill? What was a big breakthrough for both of us was our first ayahuasca experience. And in my first ayahuasca experience, it connected both. One thing is that let me wake up my spirit for who I really am. So we live in this world, we experience this with our 5 senses, but you have this 6th sense, and that is activated when you have the spiritual awakening. I mean, it's always there from when you're born, but we close this off because we want it to be normal, we want it to be like everyone else, we have to function in this world. And actually the world is doing their best that you also learn that authority is outside yourself. Your parents, your teachers, religion. And yeah, to me the turnaround was, I mean, I always had my inner authority and my inner voice, but after my spiritual awakening, I knew that this is so important and this is the truth. And I want to find out the truth about life. I want to know why I'm here, what is my purpose. And ayahuasca helped me a lot. It shaked up my life, actually. First, I was like, whoa, everything has to be different now, because now I know the secret of life. That's how it felt to me. Oh, ayahuasca is so holy, it's the secret of life. And I felt like I would like to know that I would like to spread the word of plant medicine, and I would like everyone to know on this planet that it exists. I felt that it opens up a gateway to connect with your soul, to connect with the field of all knowing. And there you will find yourself. You find home and you find your true being, and there you experience that you're one with everything. And that oneness is the truth for me. Actually, everything that is changing is an illusion, and I mean, it's our reality. So this illusionary reality is very real, of course. Reality is also in the world. In this word, real reality that we live in. But it's like a game, and everything outside of us is guiding us to become more of who we are. So sometimes we have a mirror, someone outside ourselves that is triggering us, and you can reflect on what is this doing to me and what does it say about me. Because what you say about the other person is actually about yourself. I'm talking about this in another podcast. Yeah, this was a big breakthrough to remember who I am. And something in me also knew why I am here, but not very practically. And what I saw in these visions is the matrix and the power structure. And it invited me to do more research on how does this really work. I'm not going to give these answers in this podcast, but I just want to inspire you to do a bit more research. And I think many people, like most people, already did this research. How does it all work? And the bank was a good starting point for myself, and also the documentary Zeitgeist. Maybe you're familiar with that. A lot of people start when they have their spiritual awakening, when they become curious on how does the world work, they start with the documentary Zeitgeist. To me, there was also a big breakthrough on seeing the structure, how the money system works, and when you follow the money, you also see where the power is. So who are these people in this all-seeing eye of this pyramid? And now more than ever, it's really important to be aware of this. Because when you're sleeping, and that's like you have your spiritual awakening, or you can be sleeping. So when you sleep in this game, you can be so lost from who you really are that, yeah, how to say this? You can be even more lost and you will never reconnect with your spirit. In this time that we are in, I think it's more clear that this power wants to have a lot of control, and that's the opposite from who you are, because who you are is love, is freedom, it's about abundance, it's about following your feelings. But the world has been teaching us to be more in our heads, and we closed off for our spirit. And who does this? Who does have this quest, like, I want to know who I am? And spirituality is not something that we grow up with. So everyone has to find out for themselves who they really are. And it's not your job. It's not what you do. It's not where you grow up. It's not all that outside of yourself. Because if you identify yourself so much with what you do, I can tell this from my own experience, because in my life, somehow I chose a path where I all the time have to let go of everything and start again, let go of everything and start again. I've done this a few times. And if you've been listening to my other podcast, I shared a story that I had to change my name to my birth name's Maria Johanna, and my calling name is Marietta. And I was identifying myself, and I guess everyone has that, with my name so much. Imagine if you have to change your name tomorrow. It's so strange, because the identification is so strong. But the identification with, for example, what you do, where you live, the people around you, our job, our work is also a big influence on our identity. And when this connection with identity is so strong and you lose that, you will be lost. But if you realize that you are the spirit and that's a path for you in life, and that everything comes and goes and you have to let go and you have to welcome, it becomes more easy. And still, it's not always easy. I mean, I don't know if you have ever lost someone in your life, or that you lost your job, or that you lost your house, or that you had to leave your house and that you had no control over situations and it was changing, or maybe problems with your health. I'm talking about that in my previous podcast. Then you start to realize how fragile we are. And it also is asking a deeper way of reflecting. So to me, when I had my spiritual awakening, it brought me to realize that I am not my body, I am not my mind. I am that is never changing. I am that is always good, that is always in peace, that is one with everything and has all the wisdom. So plant medicine has been such a great help to check in with my soul, to check in with the spirit of the plants and ask for guidance. Also dreams, also meditation. So what happened when I had this spiritual awakening, I started to do a lot of research. Also another documentary that really opened my eyes was Thrive. That was also one of the first that I was watching. This was in 2000, I'm not sure if this was already 2013, but that was when my spiritual awakening started. But I also felt so lost, because I didn't know with who to talk about this, except of my ex-boyfriend, because we walked hand in hand. We also started to become really interested in the scientific side of reality, quantum physics. So quantum physics says we live in a quantum field of energy, and they say we live in a field of possibility. Everything is possible. And a big influence is who is perceiving the reality. So you are the observer of your reality. And when you observe, things come into existence. It takes an observer to have the quantum field come into existence. Otherwise, it's a quantum soup, how they say this. And when you believe that you can influence your life, it's true. But when you believe you don't influence your life, it's also true. That's what the scientific research find out. So your belief system, your way of thinking, your mindset, it has a big influence on your life. Because again, if you believe that you have influence over your life, it's true. But if you believe you don't have influence over your life, it's also true. You can experience your truth in this reality the way you want it. But to me, there are certain things that are destined to happen. And that was also what I learned by connecting with the plant spirits. Sometimes I thought I've been traveling so deep and something in my core changed so much that after this plant medicine ceremony, my start was mainly with ayahuasca, my life is going to change, my path is going to change. So if you change from inside, your outer world will also change. And then I also come to another documentary, it's Inner Worlds, Outer Worlds. That also made an impact on my spiritual awakening. So inner worlds, outer worlds. And I don't even remember anymore what it was about, what they were saying. But now I would say that a big breakthrough in my spiritual awakening was, okay, I can say something about my outer world, but it says something about me inside. So in order to change my life, something inside has to switch. So maybe a belief, maybe also something that I need to do a ceremony for. But it gave me, in a way, power. I saw that my decisions are so important, and they say in spirituality you have a free will. If it's true or not, like the science will say it's true. You have a free will, and with your free will you can set your intentions for your future, and by setting your intentions, this can be your reality. And I've had a lot of experiences like this, but I don't know if this is really true. You can also say everything in life is already written. Your whole life path is already there. Maybe it can change a little bit, but it's actually already planned ahead. So when you have this intuition calling, like maybe you should go to Bali, maybe you should go to Mexico, maybe you should do this or that, or simple things, simple decisions. Maybe you have to eat this food, or if you have to go somewhere. And then some little things can change your life, but this intuition is this maybe already connected to the future. So you come up with an idea because the future already exists. Those things are really questions that I before never had, but now I wanted to know the answers to. And I'm thinking also, like, the other path was at the same time activating, and I started to realize the outer authorities as well. So my inner authority, my inner voice became more clear. I took more time off to check in. I've been meditating a lot. And also one thing that I had, because it has been confusing me to wake up, because I didn't fit into the old world anymore. I wasn't already, I in a way never did. And I also realized that working full-time all the time without taking time off, it's also unnatural. So in the nature you have the seasons, and also inside of our human lives we had nature. And I have had several periods that I had a sabbatical, and that I had to dive deeper and had to restructure my life. And I think as I speak, I'm in the next one. I'm not planning a sabbatical, but I feel that I have again a period coming up that I want to have more peace, to reflect, to enjoy. And with your feelings you will find your truth. Watching documentaries really helped me. And then I wanted to know if there is a power that can print the money, who are they? So I have been visiting their website, and you can only see that there are private families who are printing the money. So it's not a government, it's not a federal reserve, it's not federal, it's private people. And that was for me also mind-blowing, and I guess many people will know what I talk about. Otherwise, I really invite you to do this research, because it can wake you up for the truth so much. And if you also wake up from the outer truth, your inner truth will also become more stronger, and you will have more strength, more power to follow up on your inner authority, your inner voice, and to live fully. And I think we are here with different purposes. So there is a spiritual awakening happening in this time. It was already written in the stars. It was already destined to happen. The Mayas speak about this. The end of times, in all the holy books, also like the Bible, the Quran, they all speak about this change on earth. I think we are in this, and maybe you think, oh, this girl is tripping, is crazy. But if you read this text, it has a lot of similarities with the time that we are in. And there they also talk about the sleeping people and the the woke people. I never knew that I was living in a sleep, in a dream. But when I woke up, everything changed. It was a game changer. It was, I would say, and I say this in my first video where I speak about ayahuasca, I said I would not say it's easier, But this is all what I was longing for. I wanted to wake up in this dream, not from the dream yet, in the dream, to find out the purpose of life, which is maybe very simple, but everyone also has this task. So also when you're lost, the plant medicine or meditation or checking in with yourself, it can help so much to find out your truth and to follow up on your soul calling. And this doesn't come up with your mind. And there's a lot of problems now in the world, and we are watching it, we are losing control, and we're like, we are free spirits. We are free spirits. And I don't know how this will end, but when you check in, you feel the faith and the trust that somehow there will come a solution that you cannot think of, because this is already too crazy that you cannot think of, that so much freedom would be lost. I mean, it's happening. And that a virus, I mean, what to say about it, that the corona would change the world so much, but I think this is the time to find out your truth, to wake up in the dream from your spiritual side and from the outer world. And this will give you so much strength and belief and power, because if you just look at the outer world without knowing who you are, without knowing about this game, you can be so frustrated, you can be angry, you can feel depressed. And that's why I like to motivate people to, plant medicine is my way and meditation has been my way. I'm not doing it at the moment, but plant medicine, whether it's microdosing or going deep inside yourself with plant medicine, it can help so much to guide you to your soul path, to remember who you are, to remember why you're here. And so many times it is changing people's life, their path. So to me, it has been a great benefit to use plant medicine. Not only once in my case, but the first time. Nothing will ever beat the first experience, because that was my awakening. And the other, so many experiences, it enriched me, but it gave me so many answers, not on only earthly questions, but also spiritual questions, because you are so much more. And when you are in the other dimensions, it's like a school, and you can learn things that you could not even think of. Important to know, it's only when you feel the calling. So plant medicine, I know it's not for everyone, and it's only there when you feel the calling. Recently, I did not feel the calling, but sometimes even when I don't feel the calling, I test plant medicines because it's my passion, or I do it, and then it's really the best when the plants are calling you to answer it. Also, don't be afraid, because there's a reason. But it can help a lot during these times to remember. Yes.
Thanks for listening. Check out our website, houseofoneness.com, for more information about plant medicine, microdosing, and ceremonies. Or find Maria Johanna at Instagram. Check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, keep following that inner voice.